Okay, good morning, students. Now you have to go. The agents of pollination. There is another important topic. What are the agents it will present in a pollination category? Here you have to see one by one. The agents that are like wind, water, or insects. These are comes under this agents of pollination in a plants. Okay, now one by one you have to see. Pollination mostly affected by the many agents like wind, water, insects, etc. On the basis of the agents that bring about the pollination, the mode of pollination is divided into abiotic control and abiotic control. Abiotic and biotic control. Abiotic means nothing but the non-living organisms. Biotic means the living organism. Okay. Here, first one, abiotic agents. The abiotic agents are nothing but there is no living organism comes under these abiotic agents. First one is anemophily. What do you mean by anemophily? Pollination by wind. Pollination by wind is nothing but anemophily. Hydrophily. There is another one, hydrophily. Pollination by water. That is called hydrophily. These two categories are mostly comes under this abiotic category. Then another one, biotic agents, zoophily. Biotic agents, the living organism, zoophily. Zoophily refers to pollination through animals. The pollination comes under this animals, and pollination through insects is called entomophily. Zoophily refers to pollination through the animals, and pollination through insects is nothing but entomophily. Study of insects is nothing but entomology. So the same way, pollination through insects is called entomophily. Okay. First one by one you have to see anemophily. What do you mean by the anemophily? Pollination by wind. Already we studied, we know. The wind pollinated flowers are called anemophilous flowers. Anemophily, the wind pollinated flowers are nothing but anemophilous flowers. The wind pollinated plants are generally situated in wind exposed region because the flowers are mostly exposed in a wind exposed region. That the way only the flowers or the stigma or otherwise the pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another flower. So anemophily is another chance of event, therefore the pollen may not reach the target flower effectively and are wasted during the transit from one flower to another flower. The common examples of wind pollinated flowers are grasses, sugarcane, bamboo, coconut, palm, maize, etc. These are the good example for wind pollinated flowers because these flowers or these plants are mostly a small size plants and also some of the big size plants also there. Normally there is these pollen grains are very soft, very lazy, very easy in condition. It transfer from the wind. Okay, then anemophilous plants having the following characteristic features. So what are the characteristic features present in anemophilous plants? Because the flowers are produced in pendulous, catkin-like or spike inflorescence, it will present in anemophilous plants. First one, pendulous, catkin-like or spike inflorescence, it will only present. The axis of inflorescence elongates. Axis of inflorescence. The stem of the inflorescence elongates so that the flowers are brought well above the leaves because it will protrude above from the leaves. The perianth is absent or highly reduced. The perianth is not present. It is reduced or absent, totally absent. The flowers are very small, inconspicuous, colorless, not scented, do not secrete nectar. So these are the main characteristics of wind pollination occur. The flowers are very small, inconspicuous, colorless, not scented, do not secrete nectar. It is just opposite to there is a zoophily. The stamens are numerous, filaments are very long, exerted and versatile in nature. The stamens are numerous in condition, filaments are very long, exerted and versatile in nature. Anthers produce enormous quantities of pollen grains. The pollen grains are produced enormously compared to number of ovules available for pollination. They are minute, light and dry so that they can be carried to long distance by wind. So these are the characters mostly involved in wind pollination. So in some plants, anthers burst violently and release the pollen into air. Example, Urtica. In a calotropis also this kind of activity is also there. In some plants, anthers are burst violently and release the pollen into air. Example, Artica. In some of the balsam plant also this kind of pollination it will occur, or the seed dispersal, pollen grain dispersal is occur. Stigmas are comparatively large, protruding, sometimes branched and feathery, adapted to catch the pollen grains. Generally, a single ovule is present. These are the another character for stigma. Comparatively large, protruding, sometimes branched and feathery, adapted to catch the pollen grains. Generally, a single ovule is only present. So the plant produces flowers before the new leaves appear, so the pollen can be carried out hindrance of leaves. Okay, these are the characteristic features of wind pollination plants. Okay, the next one is for good example for pollination in maize, the wind pollination, Zea maize. The maize is monoecious and unisexual in nature. The maize is a monoecious plant and unisexual. The male inflorescence tarsal is born terminally. Terminally, the male inflorescence is produced and female inflorescence come laterally at lower levels. It will produce in a lateral region, in a lower levels only. Maize pollens are large and heavy and cannot be carried by light breeze. In a male flowers, these are present in a upper region. The wind it will flow means there is a hot wind is will present means it will move from one place to another place. There is no heavy wind or anything is there, cannot be carried by the light breeze also there. Okay, the pollens deposited in the same stigma of the female inflorescence, that is called cob in a maize plants. However, the mild wind shakes the female inflorescence to release the pollen which falls vertically below. So the male inflorescence, from the male inflorescence the pollen grains are deposited in a female inflorescence only. The female inflorescence has long stigma, the silk, measuring up to 23 centimeter in length, which projects beyond leaves. The pollens drop from the tarsal is caught by the stigma. Okay, this type of pollination it will occur in a maize plants. You can see male inflorescence tarsal region it will present in upper region, terminal area, and lateral region the female inflorescence it will present cob region is there. That is silk stigma is there. There is a 23 centimeter in long the style. So then only the pollen grains are deposited in a female inflorescence, pollination it will occur. Then next one is hydrophily. The wind pollination, how it will occur. The next one is wind pollination. The pollination by water is called hydrophily, and the flowers pollinated by water are said to be the hydrophilous flowers. Example, Vallisneria hydrilla. Though there are a number of aquatic plants also there, only in few plants pollination takes place by water. Here in a flower envelope of hydrophilous plants are reduced or absent. Floral envelope or calyx, corolla, anything is there. These are totally absent in hydrophilous plants. In water plants like eichhornia and water lily, pollination takes place through wind or by insects also there. There are two types of hydrophily. Epihydrophily. In a hydrophily, there are two types of hydrophily in nature. Epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. There are two types of hydrophily, pollination. Epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. In most of the hydrophilous flowers, the pollen grains possesses mucilaginous coverings which protects them from wetting. This type of hydrophilous plant, hydrophily is mostly occur. Then what do you mean by epihydrophily? Epi means above. Above the water level, how the pollination is occur? The pollination occurs at the water level. The pollination it will occur in a water level, that is called epihydrophily. Epi means nothing but the water level, upper region. Example, Vallisneria spiralis and Elodea. These two plants are mostly comes under this epiphyllous pollination. Then pollination in Vallisneria spiralis. Vallisneria spiralis, how the pollination is occur? It is a dioecious plants, submerged and rooted hydrophytes. It is a dioecious, that is means nothing but a female and a male flowers are present in the same plant. Submerged and rooted hydrophytes are there. The female plant bears solitary flowers which rise to the surface of water level. Using a long coiled stalk at the time of pollination, it will occur a small cup-shaped depression. A cup-shaped depression it is formed around the female flower on the surface of the water level. So this type of action only taken place in the water. So the male plant produces male flowers which get detached and float on the surface of the water. The male plant produces male flowers which get detached from the plant and float on the surface of the water. As soon as the male flowers comes in contact with the female flowers and pollination takes place, then it will come onto the another female plants, then it will contact the pollination. They contact with the female flowers and pollination will take place. Stalk of the female flowers coils and goes under water where fruits are produced. Then the female flowers it will shrink the or otherwise coils the flowers and goes under the water level where fruits are produced in under the water level. Male flower is there, it will floating on the water level, then female flowers it will emerged from this water in upper surface, then it will pollinated, then it will coils the water underground the water. Then ribbon shaped leaves it will present in a volition area. Then male flowers are there, these male flowers are produced are detached from the plants, then it will go for a water level, water surface level, then floating in a water. Pollination in volition area spiralis. Then hypohydrophily there is a below the water level. Pollination occurs inside the water. Pollination occurs inside the water. Below the water level means nothing but below the surface level. So example, Justira marina and Ceratophyllum, these are the two types of plants. The pollination occur in hypohydrophily. So the next one is zoophily. In a zoophily, pollination by the agency of animals is called zoophily, and flowers are said to be zoophilous flowers. Animals that bring about pollination may be birds, bats, snails, and insects. Of these insects are well adapted to bring pollination. Here, these kind of animals mostly comes under this pollination, that is called zoophily. Larger animals like primates, lemurs, arboreal rodents, reptiles, jingo lizards, and the garden lizards have also been reported as pollinators. Then another one is ornithophily. These are comes under this zoophily. Ornithophily, pollination by birds is called ornithophily. Underline that word, ornithophily. Pollination by birds is called ornithophily. Some common plants that are pollinated by birds are Erythrina, Bombax, Syngium, Bignonia, Sterilichia, etc. Hummingbirds, sunbirds, and honey eaters are some of the birds which regularly visit flowers and bring out pollination. That is called ornithophily with the help of birds. Then ornithophilous flowers have the following characteristic features. What are these features are there? The flowers are usually larger in size. The flowers are tubular, cup-shaped or unshaped. Unshaped is there. The flowers are brightly colored because the birds it will suck these nectars or suck the honeybee. Red, scarlet, pink, orange, blue, and yellow which attract the birds also. Then the flowers are scentless and produce nectar in large quantities. Pollen and nectar from the flower rewards for the birds visiting the flowers also there. The flower parts are though and leathery to withhold the powerful impact of the visitors also there. So the next one is Chiropterophily. Here the pollination carried out by birds. The pollination carried out by birds is called Chiropterophily. Some of the common Chiropterophily plants are Hygilla africana, Adansonia digitata. That is a good example for Chiropterophilus. Then Malacophily with the help of nails. The pollination by slugs and snails is called Malacophily. Some plants Aeraceae. But I underline that one, Aeraceae. That the family only mostly pollination occur this kind of family Aeraceae are pollinated by snails, water snails growling among lemma. There is a water plants pollinate them. Okay, there is a flow chart for pollination. Here the pollination, self pollination is occur, cross pollination is there. In a self pollination, autogamy is there. Cross pollination, xenogamy or allogamy is there. Abiotic agents, in a cross pollination, abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic, anemophily, hydrophily, wind and water is there. In a biotic components, here canthrophily, beetles, palanophily, moth, melitophily, bees, psychophily, butterflies, ornithophily birds, and chiropterophily birds, myrmecophily ants. These are the kinds of biotic agents mostly the pollination is occurred. Okay. Then next one, entomophily. There is another category is there, entomophily. Nothing but entomophily is nothing but pollination mostly done by with the help of insects. That is called entomophily. Pollination by insects is called entomophily. Pollination by ant is called myrmecophily. You already saw in a picture. Insects that are well adapted to bring pollinations are bee, moths, butterflies, flies, wasps, and beetles. Of the insects, bees are the main flower visitors and dominant pollinators are there. Bees are the main flower visitors and dominant pollinators. Whereas the insects are chief pollinating agents. Chief pollinating agents and majority of angiosperms are adapted for insect pollination. Majority of angiosperm plants are mostly adapted by insects only. It is the most common type of pollination occur. Bees are dominant pollinators. Insects are chief pollinating agents. That's all. What are the characteristic features of entomophilous flowers are as follows. Entomophilous flowers are generally large or if small, they are aggregated in dense inflorescence. Entomophilous means these are larger in size. There are small size of flowers are there. They are dense in condition or compact in condition. Compact inflorescence are there. Example, Asteraceae flowers are there. Flowers are brightly colored. The adjacent parts of the flowers may also be brightly colored to attract the insects. For example, Poinsettia and Boerhaavilla, the bracts become colored bougainvillea. And some of the plants also there, Gloriosa superba also there. The flowers are scented and produced nectars also there. Flowers in which there is no secretion of nectar, the pollen is either consumed as food or used in building up its hive by the honeybees. Pollen and nectar are the floral rewards of the visitors. Here, this one is a pollination occur. Okay, flowers are pollinated by flies and beetles produce foul odor to attract pollinators. Here the odor it will occur. The smell pollination it will occur with the help of the flies, beetles and some of the insects. In some flowers, juicy cells are present which are pierced and the contents are sucked by the insects only. Okay, the next one is pollination in salvia. In salvia there is a type of mechanism it will occur, the liver mechanism it will occur. The flower is protandrous and the corolla bilabiate with two stamens are protandrians. Protandrous, that is called andria, it will develop earlier. A liver mechanism helps in pollination. Each anther has an upper fertile lobe and lower sterile lobe is there. In upper lobe is fertile, the lower lobe is a sterile in condition which is separated by a long connective which helps to anthers to swing freely. Bee visits a flower, it sits on the lower lip when it acts as a platform of the flower. Okay. Then it enters the flower to suck the nectar by pushing its head into the corolla. During the entry of the bee into the flower, the body sticks against the sterile end of the connective. This makes the fertile part of the stamens to descend and strike at the back of the bee only is there. Okay, the pollen gets deposited on the back of the bee. When it visits another flower, the pollen gets rubbed against the stigma and complete the act of pollination is occur in a salvia. Okay, this type of mechanism mostly occur in a salvia plant. There is liver mechanism. You can see the salvia plant pistil is there. There is anther. In a lower side there is no fertile anther is there. In upper region only the fertile anther it will present and also pistil is also present in the center part. The pollen gets dusted on the body of the insects. The beetle enter inside this flower, then it will pushes down. Then the upper region of the lobe it will comes down to the beetle. Then it will deposit some of the pollens in the beetle upper surface. Then it will go for come out from this flower. Then it will go for another flower. Then the same mechanism it will occur in this another flower. Then it will the stigma it will attached to the surface of the beetle flower, then the pollen is deposited on the stigma of another plant. Then the pollination it will occur. There is two kinds of flowers. Pollen gets transferred to the stigma and the stigma is there. So this kind of mechanism is nothing but a liver mechanism in a pollination in salvia. Okay. The next one. Some of the other interesting pollination mechanism is occur in a plants that are trap mechanism, Aristolochia, football mechanism, Arum, clip or translator mechanism, Asclepiadaceae. Clip or translator mechanism, Asclepiadaceae, and a piston mechanism, Papilionaceae. Pistil mechanism, Papilionaceae, clip or translator mechanism, that is Asclepiadaceae, football mechanism in Arum, trap mechanism, Astrolochia. These are the four kinds of mechanism against the salvia. Up to this one, your today's portion is over. Okay, we will see next class. Okay, read very carefully. Okay, read by watch the video. Thank you, one and all.